Welcome to OkState Daily. Casey Porter here. So glad that you decided to tune in. What an exciting weekend it was for OSU baseball. Hey, most of our podcasts here as of late have been dominated by baseball. I get that. Of course, I'm a big baseball fan. I love Oklahoma State baseball. Probably my favorite sport on earth. So that's a large reason why. I'm not going to hide that. But also, the basketball is coming to an end. Oklahoma State, they played a good game against Baylor on Saturday. They had the lead for a while. They played a great game against Iowa State the other day. Women's basketball, we'll get back into that. They're having a great year. And then also softball. We have not done enough softball content, and that's because Scott McKinley and I have both been very busy, and we've just had a hard time putting together a softball podcast. But hey, that is coming. I promise you, we're going to have a ton of softball coverage coming, and we're going to have plenty of basketball coverage to finish up, especially the women's side of things as the men continue to try to grind. Maybe make the NIT, I don't know, who knows. And I think the big goal for them is to finish with a winning record. But how about the weekend for the baseballers? So you think going in, what you have to have in a big series like this, you need Gabe Davis to go win you that one game, right? So then once Gabe Davis wins that one game of the weekend, now all you got to do is win one out of the next two between Harrison Bodendorf and Hunter Watkins. And lo and behold, hey, Gabe Davis, there were some really bright moments. He's going to have a great year. I think he's on track of becoming the ace-level starter this Oklahoma State staff needs. Not worried at all about Gabe. I'm seeing more positive signs out of him this year than I did, honestly, last year. He had a great summer. I know he probably put a lot of pressure on himself in the game against Tennessee. And to be honest with you, Tennessee's just really, really good. They might be the best team in the country. So not worried at all about Gabe, but you're thinking, well, we lose that game. Although Oklahoma State did battle, they scored a couple of runs late, which is always a big deal because even when you lose, if you score late, maybe you can build some momentum for the next day. And a lot of times, especially in a 3-game series, if you score late and you force them to use their plus arms, then not only are you taxing their arms, you're adding innings to their total, which make them a little bit less available down the road, but you're also getting looks at them. So I thought Oklahoma State did a good job of continuing to battle Friday night, developed a little bit of momentum leaving that game. That led into the Texas A&M game where Oklahoma State won. And then today I thought it was a huge game. Hey, this is not hindsight, and I'm not saying that because they won, right? I mean, I said this in this morning's show that today's game was a big game. I'm big on the process this time of year. When I say that, more about just kind of evaluating the parts of the team that are growing versus, maybe sacrificing a little bit of the results area to make sure you're growing properly in other areas, like maybe inserting a guy in this situation, not quite knowing what the results are going to be because you need him a month from now. Those kinds of things, I'm big on that. But I said point blank, and I've said it all weekend, that this weekend was not about the process. This weekend was about results. Oklahoma State could not afford to come to Houston this weekend and lose all 3 games. They could not do it. Not if they wanted anybody to take them seriously. And to be honest with you, not if they wanted to take themselves seriously. If Oklahoma State would have came down and laid an egg and laid a 0, there's no way those kids could have looked at each other and went, yeah, we're one of the elite teams in college baseball. They could not have done that. So the A&M game was big because it kept that from happening, in my opinion. And then on the other end of that spectrum, by beating Mississippi State too, now these guys literally can look each other in the eyes and go, boys, look around the room right here. We've got an Omaha team. Don't believe me, just look at what we just went and did this weekend. We did that without Gabe Davis winning a game, right? We did that without Mario Pesca playing a big role. We did that. Now, Nolan Schubert hit a home run on Sunday, but we did that with Aiden Miola and Nolan Schubert. I know Schubert has a good average, but today was his first home run Sunday. We did that with those two guys not in full stride yet. We did that with Avery Ortiz still on the bench. We did that because he's injured. We did that without Bo Sylvester making the impact that I think eventually that he'll have. We've done all that with all of those circumstances and still trying to put all of these new guys into the fold. I mean, Oklahoma State last year lost a ridiculous amount of players. As a matter of fact, here's who they lost last year. Carson Benz, Zach Earhart, Jackson Kroll, Lane Forsythe, Brian Holiday, Sam Garcia, Tyler Wolford, Evan O'Toole, Tommy Molsky, Robert Kranz, Bryson Hudgens, Jansen Kiesel, Dominic Reed, Ryan Bogus. Wow, that's a lot. And by the way, this week, as far as the first win against A&M and then today, list the new players in the lineup starting on Saturday that weren't here last year. Harrison Bodendorf, Sean Youngerman, Braden Smith, Jason Jones, Brock Thompson, Garrett Scholl, Drew Culberson. So you lost a lot of players last year that were fantastic players. Brian Holiday, fantastic. Okay. Carson Bench, maybe the best player in college baseball. Robert Kranz, maybe the best closer. Tommy Molsky, he is going to pitch in the major leagues if he stays healthy. I promise you that. Okay. Tremendous talent. Tyler Wolford got injured last year, but great player. So you had to replace all those guys, and then at the same time, you're having to incorporate all these new guys, and you're doing so beating Texas A&M and Mississippi State. By the way, in SEC territory, in the backyard of Texas A&M. So how exciting is that? So today was a great game, and it was just a game to where Oklahoma State, like I said, this is not hindsight. I'm going to try to get to the video here so we can play it and get to it so you can actually see the action as we go here. And I'm going to flip that over, and here we go. Okay, this is Hunter Watkins. Hunter Watkins did a very, very, very good job today for Oklahoma State. 5 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 runs, 4 strikeouts, 1 walk. Okay, Watkins gave up 2 home runs. Of course, you never want to give up home runs because that's a guaranteed run. But 2 home runs, they were both solos. How many times have you heard in your life, if you've been around the game of baseball at all, solo home runs do not beat you? Well, that certainly was the case today. So he gave up 2 solo home runs, but they were solo because he eliminated the free baseball. And because he eliminated the free baseball, he only gave up 1 run at a time. He pitched backwards. He used the top of the zone. See how he's pitching? That's kind of a pitching backwards there, that straight just kind of bullet slider there on a 3-2 count. He was throwing his breaking balls in hitters counts. He was riding his fastball. See there is pitching backwards. It's just perfect case scenario of Hunter Watkins pitching backwards. He used the fastball at the top of the zone to his advantage. See, just like that. And then his calling card, he was dropping that big, big curveball into the dirt and getting swing and miss. That one right there. That is Hunter Watkins to a T. Okay, pitching backwards, fastball top of the zone, sweeping sliders across the zone to steal strikes, and then burying the curveballs in the dirt. 5 innings, so he gave good length, turned the ball over with his team, having the lead at 6-2. So very, very quality start for Hunter Watkins. That was super, super exciting to watch him wheel and deal. And in a situation and in a game, it's good to have scoreboard pressure early in the season because you want to see what these guys are made out of. As much as I like Sean Youngerman, I want to see what he's like with only a 2-run lead against Mississippi State in a game that has been emphasized. We really need to win this game. And how about this topper right here from Nolan Schubert? And you know what I like about this? Let me back this up. Opposite field, Nolan Schubert is a guy that's going to be making lots of money playing this game. Look at this, though. I mean, this is a guy that, again, we've said it many different times, team at bat after team at bat after team at bat. Even this one, he's letting that ball get deep. He's not trying to do too much with it. He knows that there's runners on second and third. He is literally just trying to get a base hit to score 2 runs for his team. And because he's so good, he actually gets the ball in the air. And because he's so strong, the ball leaves the yard. A team at bat from Nolan Schubert. Good for him that he got rewarded with the home run. That gave Oklahoma State the 9-2 lead. Noah Weck came in, and my gosh, if he didn't have bad luck, he wouldn't have any luck at all. Gave up the 5 spot. All of them, again, were unearned. Coming into today, he had given up 10 runs, 9 run earned. Now he's given up 15 runs, 14 of them 14 of his 15 runs, Noah Weck, that he's given up have been unearned. Now, he did walk the second guy of the inning, so that was on him. But by and large, just tough luck for Noah Weck. I promise you, he is really good, and this is going to be a guy that's going to factor into the bullpen equation in a big way. Ethan Lund, super proud of this young man. If you remember his first outing in Arlington, I think probably just the energy, not that the moment overcame him. I just felt like he had a little bit too much energy in that first outing. And whenever he came in with a 4-run lead, hey, 4 runs, that's a good-sized lead, but still against a Mississippi. We saw it. They put up a 5 spot, and it seemed like it happened in an instant. So when Ethan Lund came in and the first pitch he threw was for a base hit, and then the first 2 guys got on, he walked the next guy. I'm thinking, well, here we go. We're getting ready to see what this freshman has to offer. I'm very curious because I know he's 6'5". I know he's left-handed. I know he has the big slider. I know he has the great carry on the fastball. But you know what? I don't know a whole lot about his mentality. Let's just see how gritty the dude is. Well, then how about the way that he nailed his sliders? How about how he pitched to the perimeter? How about how he showed no hesitation whatsoever in trusting his stuff to challenge hitters once he got into trouble? And I'll be darned if he didn't work his way out of that situation. And these are the parts of the game that win and lose. If Ethan Lund gives up 2 runs in this inning, like he should have, the first 2 guys got on, and Mississippi State was in a good part of their lineup. I mean, the guy that he struck out was Stallman, who hit 2 home runs today. He was up. Stallman was up at the plate with 2 on and nobody out. Got a great play by Jason Jones. That inning could have easily went sideways. That could have ended up 6-4, 6-5, maybe even 6-6. And if that happens, Oklahoma State does not win. So great stuff from the true freshman, Ethan Lund. I was super, super proud of him and the job that he did. And then Wednesday night, we got to see Ryan Ure in a starting role. And the first thing that I mentioned about a starting role was that he's going to have to economize a little bit more, so the velo is not going to be quite as hot in a starting role because you can't maximize. But when you're in a 1-inning stint, you don't have to conserve. So a guy like Ryan Ure can just really just max out. And because of that, he was 90, 91, 92 on Wednesday in his start. Today, he was 93, 94, 95. The velo bumped. I think you're going to continue to see a velo bump for Ryan Ure, and man, was he in command. This was easily, look at that ball turn left right there. I mean, that's 95 turning left, probably 11, 12 inches. 95 turning left 11, 12 inches, and then a 4-seam that cuts probably 12 or 11 inches. And to the opposite sides of the plate. Wow. Ryan Ure, the execution, and then there's the fastball up in the zone with the right and run. I mean, you can't hit that. I've been saying so many times, when Ryan Ure pitches and commands and execution matches the stuff, you get what you got today, which was a completely dominant inning. And the Cowboys absolutely had to have Ure. Ure is the one who absolutely stabilized this game because Oklahoma State had given up the 5 spot. There were still 6 outs left to get on Mississippi State, and I did not have a good feeling about the way things are going. I don't know how any Oklahoma State fan could. And Ure came out and just made his 3 outs look just as simple as can be. And although the Cowboys weren't scoring, that simple inning, at least the way that he made it look simple, to me, put the momentum back in Oklahoma State's dugout. It kept it just stopped the, oh my gosh, look at Mississippi State just scored 5. We're in trouble. And then I wanted to see what Sean Youngerman had. That carry right there is 2,400 RPMs. That's why SEC hitters can't hit it. The backspin on that, so it's 94 on the gun, but the real velo on that looks like about 98 to a hitter. That's why they're having late right there. That fastball at the top of the zone is absolutely, it's explosive. So you see here, there was a hitter on, and it's a 2-run game. Sean Youngerman has enough confidence in his fastball to throw it at the top of the zone, which, if that's a mistake pitch, that's a home run tie game. He knows that, but he has enough confidence in it that over and over and over, you're seeing it here, to continue to carry that fastball at the top of the zone because he knows it's good enough to even get by SEC hitters. Then it's down and away like that. He spots it up. Then he throws the slider, and the mentality. I mean, the mentality is just, he's California cool. It's a situation to where nothing bothers him. And there is just a really quiet confidence that Sean Youngerman carries himself with. And when you have that, that's exactly what you want out of a closer. So he has the stuff, he has the mentality. Then I also wanted to mention that Ian Doherty, this dude caught every inning of this week. Now, he had the huge weekend in Arlington, and he's had a great year offensively. This wasn't like an awesome weekend. I mean, it wasn't bad or anything, but this wasn't like an awesome weekend offensively for Ian Doherty. It was okay, but he got my I want that dude on my team award this weekend because he caught every inning. He framed every pitch. He blocked every ball in the dirt. And if you noticed, about 85 times, he kept positive encouragement in his pitchers' brains. He challenged his pitchers to stay locked in. He kept positive thoughts in their head. He basically was their pitching coach on the field. He was their psychologist. He was their backstop. He was the guy that had their back. He was the guy that was framing their pitches. He was the guy that made them, Hunter Watkins, feel comfortable burying that curveball in the dirt. Harrison Bodendorf, comfortable burying that curveball in the dirt to strike guys out with. So Ian Doherty, do not underlook or overlook or understate the value that Ian Doherty brought to his team this weekend, because he was just the job that he did behind the plate, again, easy to overlook, but please don't, because I can tell you he played a massively huge role for Oklahoma State. And then how about Saturday night? Oklahoma State's third and fourth runs came on ground balls to the third baseman. Then here in the third inning, they scored on a couple of ground balls. They scored on a bunt, and they just executed the game of baseball. That is just how you win. It's called winning on the margins. So we know this team can hit home runs and get hot and have a great offensive day and win that way. But can this team just kind of put the ball in play like you saw Aiden Miola do here, like you saw Colin Brighamman do, and just score runs by just kind of putting the ball in play and getting them on, getting them over, getting them in, and executing? Can they do that? And they were able to do that. And then also on the other end, I don't think I actually have the video here, but the defense. We saw, well, actually, let me go ahead and get to Brock Thompson and show you his defensive play here, and we'll actually watch it right here. Watch this. This is the first batter of the game. Usually it's the leadoff hitter that sets the tone. How about that? And let's back that up. This is a true freshman. Now, the impressive part of this is, he catches the ball right here. So he's not headed towards center field. He's headed towards left field. And watch how easily he makes this throw. Look at that. Look how easy that is to him. That is talent right there, ladies and gentlemen. That set the tone for the day that, hey, boys, we're here to play. We're going to win this game, and let's get it. Let's get on with it, and let's go ahead and beat the second SEC team in a row. And then also Drew Culberson. How about this play right here? So the defense today, and Jason Jones made a nice play as well. Watch this. This is just a ridiculous play. Wow, look at that. Made that look easy. I mean, that's a play that a good shortstop should make, but he made that look easy is the ridiculous part of that. Drew Culberson showed his toolbox offensively on Saturday. Actually, you're not even seeing that. Let me put that back, and then let me go through that again. So let me play Brock Thompson one more time here, that defensive play right here. Okay, so here's Brock Thompson. So he's to his right. Let me actually stop it right there. Now watch how easy he makes that throw. That's what I was talking about a minute ago. And then here is Drew Culberson. I apologize for not clicking over. I could take the time to edit that out and fix it for good, but I'm not going to. So how about that? And then here's the play by Drew Culberson that he makes look very easy. So the defense was very good. The base running was good all weekend. The Cowboys stole bases. They took extra bases. They didn't make base running mistakes. They won on they put the ball in play when they needed to. They filled up the strike zone pitching wise. They pitched backwards. They pitched the perimeters. They took advantage of their opportunities offensively. They won baseball games on the margins. That's how you win at a big time level. So for that reason, the results were awesome. You won 2 big-time games, but you got to the results by having a fantastic process of winning on the margins. So it's all good. 5-game home stand now. You have Winthrop coming in on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then I believe it's like Southern Illinois, somebody like that, for a 3-game weekend. Don't exactly quote me on that. For a 3-game series over the weekend starting on Friday. So a 5-game homestand. Now you get to come home. Now you get to go back a little bit more into process mode, maybe play a few guys, get a few guys on the bump, and start to grow your team to the way that you want to do it, which Josh Holiday is always so good at. So, hey, I want to thank you for tuning in. And, boy, what a weekend it was. I'm Casey Porter of OkState Daily. Go Pokes.